Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Cook with Brooke, the cooking show that doesn't have any food. It's all about what's cooking at the Air Force Enlisted Village. Well, we are really glad that you're joining us today, and today is for February, and that's important just because we are hosting our second vaccination clinic right now with the pharmacist and the team coming over from Walgreens. This has been a fantastic opportunity for us to be able to vaccinate our staff members, our residents, and it's just turned out so well. We've also been able to help some third-party providers that come onto campus that have interaction with our residents. So it's been fantastic. Again, this is the second, so we did the first one about 3 weeks ago. So that is a huge accomplishment for us. We're really happy that we're able to do this and to be able to provide this service to our residents. Obviously, the COVID is still here. You can look into the communities and you can see the numbers, you can see the struggles that are still taking place. So even though we're getting the vaccinations, we know that we're not done yet. We're still going to have to take the right precautions. We're still going to have to wear masks. We're still going to have to do social distancing, washing hands, all the things that we've been doing for almost a whole year now. So we ask that you continue to do that, continue to take care of each other, make sure that you're being careful, and make sure that your surroundings are safe when you're out there. I always encourage people just to look around, and if you go into a place, a room, a building, a gathering, and it feels like it's not right, it's probably not. So that's probably a good time for you to take a look at the situation and to maybe take another choice and maybe leave. So again, just be super careful. This is a big step for us with the vaccinations coming in, but we're not out of the woods, so we still need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. So today we have a special guest, Senior Master Sergeant Byron Ball, a firefighter from one of our Air Force bases, and an absolutely fantastic guy. He's going to come on, and of course now he's a firefighter and his last name's Ball. So you know they have to call him Fireball, right? So that's his nickname. We'll get a chance to do an interview and talk with him. He has been a phenomenal supporter of the Air Force Enlisted Village, and he's one of the few people that have actually run a half marathon on every continent in the world. So think about that for a second. That means that he ran a half marathon in Antarctica. Just amazing. It blows me away to think that somebody like that, in addition to all the responsibilities of being an airman, serving our country that way, being a firefighter, being a first responder, and then he's giving back in the way that he does to the Air Force Enlisted Village by doing these half marathons. So it's going to be a great interview. I look forward to talking with him. Now it will be a Zoom interview, so it's not going to be in person. He's still at his base, so we'll get a chance to talk with him a little bit more before we do that. So it should be a very fascinating interview just to hear how he got started and how he became not just a fundraiser, but a fundraiser. So he's out there doing great things for us. You know, I had to find some fireman jokes. I mean, if we're going to have a fireman on, you got to have a fireman joke, right? So my friend was thrown in jail recently for 6 months because he pulled 4 people from a burning building. Who would have known? It turns out he pulled out the fireman. That was not a good thing. And what do you give a firefighter as their award? The most extinguished award. Okay, bad jokes, but that's how we roll here. And if you want to send me jokes, please do so. I'm always open for those. So before we get going, let's hop on over. Let's take a look at what they're cooking over at Knife's Edge with Carrie and her team. And again, I encourage people go over there. Fantastic food. You will love it. And you'll see what's coming up on the menu with this brief section coming in. So we'll be right back, and we'll have Senior Master Sergeant Byron Ball via Zoom. Welcome back to Cook with Brooke. We have our special guest with us today, Senior Master Sergeant, First Sergeant Byron Ball at Altus Air Force Base, Oklahoma. And you can see he's proudly wearing his AFEV shirt. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you for representing us so well.
Yes, sir. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So I gave a little bit away that you're already a first sergeant, but you also were a fireman at one point. And so you have the nickname Fireball, which I think is very cool. So tell us a little bit more about that, and tell us a little bit about your career.
Okay, so yeah, I joined the Air Force in 1998 as a firefighter. So, once a fireman, always a fireman, I guess. And so my first base was Shaw Air Force Base in Sumter, South Carolina.
Right.
Did about 3 years out there, deployed during September 11th to undisclosed location.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got orders to Korea, Osan Air Force Base, or Air Base, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did a year out there, and then I was sent to Yokota Air Base, Japan for about 3 years, deployed like 2 times from there to Iraq, Talil, and Baghdad International Airport. Then I got picked up to be a tech school instructor at the Fire Academy down in Goodfellow. So I spent about 5 years there. And then I deployed as a air advisor, teaching Iraqi Air Force firefighters out there in Al-Taji, Iraq. And then I got stationed in Grand Forks, North Dakota, where I spent 7.5 years. And then I deployed one more time as a firefighter out to undisclosed location. And then, I switched over after that deployment to become a first sergeant. And my first squadron as a first sergeant was in Grand Forks, North Dakota at the Operations Support Squadron. And then from there, I went to Security Forces for 2 years in Grand Forks, North Dakota still. And then I made senior, and then they sent me down here to Altus, Oklahoma, where I was a logistics readiness squadron first sergeant for about 2 years. And now I'm over here in the Mobility's hometown, the 97 Training Squadron, the home of the Eagles, is where I'm at now. And I've been here since about July of 2020.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Sure.
Well, what an amazing career. And before we started recording, we were talking, and you had said that you just found out this morning that you're getting ready to deploy again. So
yes. Timing is great, right? I mean, like I said, I just pulled up to work, and I got the email that I was going to be potentially deploying here in July. Kind of, threw off a few plans, but we always got to make adjustments, right? So
yeah. Well,
it's only 6 months, so it's not too bad. It's nothing ain't nobody else doing, really. So.
Only in the military. Only in the military do you go into work and open your email and you find out you're deploying, and then you can say something like, "Oh, it's only 6 months. It's not so bad." I mean, that only in the military.
I mean, but we kind of knew it was coming anyway, so it wasn't like a complete shock. So leadership here is really good about informing us about things like that. So
that's good. So you are a fundraiser for the AFEB, and you have a very unique story about how you do the fundraising. Tell us a little bit about that and some of the accomplishments. I mean, it's incredible.
Okay. Well, so in February of 2022, I'll be running around the world, doing 7 full marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. Currently, I'm the Guinness World Record holder for running a half marathon on every continent in under a week. And the time is 6 days, 7 hours, and 4 minutes. So in February of 2018, I ran around the world. We went from Antarctica to Cape Town, South Africa, and then we went to Perth, Australia. Then we went to Dubai in the UAE.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Lisbon, Portugal, and then Cartagena, Colombia, with the O. You got to make sure you put the O in there. It's very important. And then we finished in Miami. So I did that. I did 13.1 miles on every continent in a week in 6 days, 7 hours and 4 minutes. And
Wow.
I just was awarded the Guinness World Record for that in March of this year, right before the pandemic kicked off. So a lot of people didn't know about it. And then they made a little special for me, which just released at the beginning of January. So please go check that out at the Altus Air Force Base website.
Sure. Well, we'll put that up. So and for the people that are watching too, we're going to put up some of your social media links as well on a slide after we finish the interview. It'll be inserted in. So people want to follow you on Facebook or they want to see you in some of these other platforms, they'll be able to do that. So that's incredible. I mean, most people have never been to 7 continents, not to mention go to 7 continents and run half a marathon on each one in under 7 days. Just the travel alone must have been exhausting.
Yes, sir. So it's like, so when you're traveling, your body really doesn't know like where you're at most of the time, right? You just know, okay, today I got to do 13.1 miles, however that looks, whether it's, nice or not so nice. It's like you just got to power through and get it done. And so when you're moving, like you just basically go to the airport, right? You do the same thing as you do with any normal travel. You check in your bags, go through customs, and then, you board the plane, fly to the next place. While you're on the plane, you're trying to get sleep. You're trying to, stretch, recover, because the plane was a very nice plane they put together. It was like a chartered Airbus.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like nice reclining chairs. There was like a couch on there as well. So you could lay out and just, try to recoup before the next race. And then you would land, do it all over again, unload your bags, go to the location, run. And then once you get done running, you would take a shower and then, put on your clothes, go head to the airport. So like you weren't there very long. You were only there maybe 12 hours tops at most places. And Antarctica was not that long. We were only there maybe about eight or 9 hours. It wasn't too long. And then we were on to the next race.
Well, it's hard enough running 13 miles. I mean, with the hydrating that you need to do along the way and just the pain that inflicts on your body. I've run a few half marathons, so I know that recovery period. Well, it was much better when I was young. Let me just put that way.
Right.
The younger you are, the quicker you recover. So
yes, sir.
I'm amazed at the dedication that you have to do that, and of course the fact that you are supporting us is so helpful. Now I see a picture in the background. I don't know if the other people are going to be able to see this off this Zoom call, but there's a picture of a beautiful family behind you, and I think I see. Is that your daughter that's in uniform with you up there?
Oh no, that's my wife. Yeah, she'd appreciate that. But so my wife is a retired Master Sergeant, Gina Ball. She did 21 years total in the Air Force, and so now she's over here as a civilian, working in the same comm unit. Yeah. So yeah, we actually met in basic training. Long story, but we didn't get married till like 4 years later. But yeah, so we've been together for about 18 years now.
Well, that's good. Well, the AFEV is all about families and taking care of each other and the connections that you have. And of course, we have so many spouses that are here, both active duty or former active duty spouses, retirees, or some of them are just veterans, so they served a tour or two and they got out of the service. So very unique. And the fact that you guys have poured so much into the military careers is really cool.
Thank you.
So the fundraising that you do is for our benevolence fund, right? So that you tell us a little bit about your motivation for doing that.
Right. So my motivation really was it's kind of funny, not, but I was motivated because of when I was a first sergeant, like when I first started out being a first sergeant, down at the AFSA convention. I remember meeting the CEO, and he was just a nice person to talk to, right? Like he didn't make me feel like weird. So it was just like, I just remember those interactions, and then I started to think about my family, and then, because I really missed my grandmother one day. And then I was like, I'm a Florida boy too. So I was like, man, what's something I can do to like kind of give back to Florida? And then also at the same time, take care of the airmen and their families. And so that's kind of like where my motivation came from. That's the condensed story without, saying anything wrong. But, and then also I really like, Chief Binnicker. He just seemed like one of those chiefs that was just very personable. And one of those ones that, like, I think if you ask them any question, like you get a real answer, not one of those, those roundabout answers that you get from some people in the military. But I think he would tell you straight, and it's either you like it or you don't, So it's just all the combination of all those things is why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something nice and try to raise money for the Air Force Enlisted Village.
Well, that's great. Well, Chief Binnicker was the CEO here for 15 years, and he brought us the mom rule, which most people know is, when we interact with the residents, and we talk about, would we do this to our mom? Would we do this for our mom? And would our mom approve? That is a great guiding principle of how we should treat everybody in the world, So he was a phenomenal leader, and we certainly miss him here, but his presence will always be with the Enlisted Village. So.
Right.
Well, hey, thank you for your time. I really appreciate all the work that you do, both for our force. You're first sergeant now. Obviously, you were a first responder for a while. Your military background is just incredible. The work that you do is certainly inspirational, and I hope other people view this and think about things that they can do to give back a little bit. And whether it's to the Enlisted Village, which hopefully it would be, or another cause, to find something and to put some effort behind a purpose is really meaningful. So thank you for doing that. And I have a coin for you that I'm going to send over. I'm not going to give it to you virtually. That would be hard.
Right.
But we'll send one over. We'll send you some AFEV merch so that you can wear it when you go out and represent us out there. And thank you for everything that you do. We really appreciate it.
All right, sir. Well, thank y'all for having me. And I'm still kind of new to this whole Zoom meeting things, so sorry if it was a little weird, but yeah, I just appreciate y'all, inviting me out, and thank you for your support through all of this, and I hope everybody else out there, contributes to the benevolent fund, and so we can make sure that the spouses of our enlisted airmen, and I also hear that there's some mothers out there too as well, that they can continue to have somewhere to stay, and and just be around people that are like mine, because everybody likes being around other military folks, right? Because you can share those stories. And so I really hope everybody comes together and, just makes a donation to this cause.
That's great. Well, and I hope we get a chance to host you down here in the future. Will you come down here, and we'll do some celebrating, and we'll let you take a look around, let you meet some of the people, and we'll spend some time together, and obviously that'll probably be after you get back from your deployment, but
Right.
We got plenty of time, so we look forward to that.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon. Be safe.
Bye.
Welcome back. Happy birthday again to our February babies. I hope you have a wonderful time celebrating your birthday. And I want to say thank you to Senior Master Sergeant Byron Ball, Fireball, for coming in and helping us and just sharing his story and the amazing accomplishments that he is achieving as he continues to not just be an incredible active duty airman and a first responder, but also a friend of the Air Force Enlisted Village. So we're so blessed to have people like him that are involved with us. So this has been another episode of Cook with Brooke. I ask you to, as always, to please be careful. Please make sure that you're watching out for each other. We're a very tight-knit community, and we have to be careful. We need to make sure that our family inside the Air Force Enlisted Village is doing the right things, taking care of each other, and as always, just maintaining that circle of closeness. You know, one of the most important things that we have here at the Enlisted Village is the connectedness, the fact that we all have the background of serving in the military and we all understand what it is to be a service member or the spouse of a service member. So please stay together. Please make sure that you watch out for each other. And just because it is Super Bowl Sunday this weekend, I'm going to give a shout out to my Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm sure that they're going to win. And if they don't, I'm sure you guys will tell me about it after you watch this video. So have a great day. Be safe. God bless you all. And we'll see you soon.